I don't know if this has ever happened before. I'm going to assume it never has happened before, but we have the most powerful power couple that there is in the universe with us tonight. Aquarian Anarchy. We got Patriot J. We got Olivia Rondeau. Let's get it. And our quote from tonight is from Friedrich Hayek. Oh, let me turn my my extra audio down here. I have this thing in my bad. I'm gonna blame it on Jordan. Anyway, so Friedrich Hayek says a society that does not recognize that each individual has values of his own, which he is entitled to follow, can have no respect for the dignity of the individual and cannot really know freedom. And with that, I welcome. Let's see. Let me try to do this introduction proper. You know her as the host of Olivia's Nation with her featured guest Kennedy from time to time.
Wow.
And you know him as the hottest Don Lemon rapper fan that there is. No, I'm just joking. He's Sir Hottest, J Hots, Patriot J. Olivia Rondeau, welcome. We're so glad to have you back on Aquarian Anarchy, but this time together.
Bam.
How y'all been? Are you flipping?
Thank you for having us.
You're very welcome. The reason I flipped you over there is because we can adjust your name where we can see it, whereas my name is all cattywampus.
Nobody cares about Marcus anyway, so it's all
That's
good.
right.
Like it's we've established this already. Are you fixing it, or you want me?
Yeah,
to
I'm fixing it.
Okay, well then I won't do it. All right, so y'all are so like loud and talkative. Let's really get to
What am I
do
supposed
what?
to say?
I don't know. I was like, how y'all been? And you're like,
The first few minutes.
huh?
I said I like to let the host start the show.
Oh yeah, no, I don't.
See, he's got class, man. Maybe we should take notes.
I don't know. Fuck that. Class is for losers. No, I'm just joking. No, appreciate it. So let's just talk. Like it's been a minute since we had each of you on here, and actually, Patriot J, I think you were one of our first guests that we had when we started doing the live show, and then Olivia, like maybe a month or two later. But the last time I saw you guys, we were at HotepCon tearing up Vegas.
Yeah.
What's been going on since then? Because I know you got the law firm thing going, and I see Olivia's out there writing these like slanderous articles of Sean King and all this other stuff that's going on.
Everything I said was true and verifiable.
It was
including the fact that he's white.
Listen, I almost thought about starting a documentary and calling it "Wigga Please," the Sean King story.
Oh my god.
You and Brody would be the perfect people because you both are wiggers.
Oh shit! Here we go.
Marcus is really sweet, but he's a white guy.
I am a white dude. I am white as shit.
He's
in
an
my
ally.
butt. It's white as can be.
Oh man! But anyway, so now what's been going on? What's how's you said, Olivia, before we came on here that y'all were prepared to break up live on the show. Let's stir the pot. Let's stir the pot and get it started.
What did I just walk into?
I don't know, man. Like she said you were late and that was it.
No, I made a joke. I made a joke about how you're on CPT, and I always say that to your face. So don't even front chat. Like, anyways, we're not. As far as I know, we're not breaking up today.
So. Right on.
All right. Well, you never know. We got. I don't know how much time do we have with y'all, because we can see what kind of division we can sow. We can
Jordan,
take this.
Jordan, how about you answer his question first? What have you been doing since HotepCon?
Yeah.
Well, dude, I came back from HotepCon with COVID, and I blame Uncle Hotep. So that's
it's not. It wasn't COVID. It was the monkey. It was the monkeypox. That's what I call it. It's the monkeypox.
So I got
who started it.
I was down from work for probably like 2 weeks. And then since then, just been working, being a lawyer, being a reporter. Got midterms coming up in a month, so I'm super excited to cover that. You know, strange things are happening in the world right now, but I'm all for it.
I agree. There is a lot of strange things. I'm not for it all. Because
So,
nuclear Armageddon does not sound pleasant.
I was going to say, who's going to take it to DEFCON 3 first, Kanye or Putin? Because holy shit!
From Twitter, I think so. Now we'll never know what he was going to say this morning.
Well, no, he did. I think he got a red phone call because he started going off. No, he started going off on Iran as soon as he woke up. So it was like he flipped. Somebody said, "Listen, here's what you need to do. Here's what you got to do.
Wow.
You got to go in hard on Iran." He was like,
and it was all like proper grammar and shit, and
Right.
it was like it did not look like he wrote it.
His handlers wrote it.
Oh man, it was wild. So, funny story. There's somebody who like runs his social media and stuff who like tried to. I can't remember the dude's name, but anyway, he tried to start a Spaces a while back. So it's like Kanye West has started a Spaces, huh?
I think it was Justin LeBoy.
Maybe that sounds like it. That sounds right. Possibly. I don't know. I don't remember. It's been a couple of months. But anyway, so I jump in on there and like all these people are just cutting up and everything. And it's just that guy on there and everybody's waiting like, where's Kanye? And there's like 13,000 people in the Spaces. And people are like, yo, this Spaces is blowing up. What's going on? And then they're like, oh, somebody just said Kanye shared it. And he's like, oh shit. And boom, space over. So he just ended it. Because I think what he did was he accidentally shared it while he had, while he was managing the, Kanye Twitter account or whatever. So if I were Kanye, I would say it was that motherfucker.
No, he actually fired that dude recently. That dude came out.
Oh, did he really? Okay.
I think probably like a month ago talking about, I'm no longer working with Ye, blah, blah, blah. They're still friends though, apparently.
Okay.
Apparently PayPal hired him and then put some shit out. And they had to take that shit right out too.
Dude, man, that was crazy. So let's get into the nitty-gritty. So we've had a crazy like we said, we had a crazy couple of weeks here, and there's a whole bunch of weird shit in the news, and I can't help but think that all of this is just a bunch of orchestrated dangling of like grenades for people to start playing with, like, piñatas to fight with each other over as we approach midterms, so that nobody will listen to anybody, nobody will listen to each other, and there won't be any chance of doing anything but going and digging your heels in and voting for whoever you were going to vote for. And I don't know. It's really sad. What do you guys think when you see all the stuff, whether it's Christian and Herschel Walker, the White Lives Matter shirts, or this stuff with all that? And, like, it just seems like there's so many things where it's like every October, this is what happens.
There's a lot of distractions going on. First of all, a lot of it's manufactured. Some of it's real. I would say, so the Christian Walker thing, I think I'm very unbiased because he actually has me blocked, and he's had me blocked for probably a year, and I forgot the reason why, but he like shit talks me constantly. So at least from what I've heard. So I don't like the guy. I think he's 100% telling the truth though, because it kind of brings me back to, I would say, my relationship with my own dad, where it's very like hot and cold. And there's points in time where, like, as a kid who, wants your dad's approval, you're not really going to speak publicly about him if he's trying to do something good. Like, if he's trying to run for office, you're probably not going to try to ruin that relationship because like you want to repair it. You have unhealed wounds from childhood. So I understand why he kind of waited till he got the guts or the balls or whatever to speak up. I never liked Herschel Walker really. Ever since I saw that the Republicans like brought him out to talk about reparations, I think it was. And I'm like, as a rich NFL player, like the representative of the Black community, why we shouldn't have reparations? Like that was super, like, it was just disingenuous to me. I don't appreciate buck dancing for whatever party, so I consider him to be a buck dancer. And yeah, so that's one distraction. But the Republican response is, oh, well, he's the lesser of two evils. And I feel like that's not a strictly Republican thing to say. A lot of people support. I mean, people said that about Biden in the primaries in 2020. Like, they were just like, okay, well, he's the one who's most likely going to beat Trump. So let's vote for the lesser of two evils. And they voted for a racist pedophile. So this is what both sides do. And they'll continue to do it. I don't know if I don't really have a set prediction on Warnock versus Walker. But either way, you're voting for what you perceive to be as a lesser of two evils. They're both pieces of huge shit. So
which is generally what happens. I mean, come on. Most of the time, who was like excited about Romney? I mean, really.
Yeah,
you know,
it brings
literally.
What would you say?
Yes, the Mormons. Yes,
I don't know. Like even the Mormons, I'm not sure. Like it's there's I don't know. Maybe it's just weird. It's wild how this stuff how we get turned into this. I kind of go back to the quote from Tom Woods where he says, "No matter who you vote for in any of these elections, it's always John McCain." And it really is. Like if you think about it, it's like this centrist economic type of mind of
Warhawk.
Like this mixed economy type shit with Warhawk mixed in. You know, it's always going to be that. You know, lots of social programs, but with some capitalism. You know, I don't know. I guess homages. Yeah,
we'll take the worst parts of each economic system and combine them into one. So they're like, okay, we're gonna give tax breaks to the billionaires,
corporations, and billionaires. Yes, exactly.
God. We're gonna have so much freedom for the rich people, for this giant corporation. It's like, yeah, and then people call that capitalism, and we are surprised why young people in general don't like capitalism because we're told that capitalism is Amazon and Walmart and Apple owning everything while we peasants scramble around for the crumbs. It's horrible.
That's a good word. Scramble is a good word for it. Because that's what you're doing. Yeah. You're scrambling for crumbs. So it's scrambling.
Yeah. I like it.
And I'm like, huh?
Your sound's a little off, man.
Oh, really?
Yeah, your mic. It's like, are you on your computer mic?
Yeah, let me put my headphones in.
Okay. Cool. But yeah, he's gonna do it. All right.
I was just gonna say that Marcus actually might be proud of me because I think last time I came on here, I was still into voting and shit. Like, yeah, voting works. Voting's gonna change everything. Now I'm more of the opinion that I still believe in voting in local elections and state elections, things like that. But in terms of presidential elections, I think that if voting changed anything, then they wouldn't let us do it.
Absolutely.
So, and I have this boomer friend, this old couple that I'm really close friends with. And we were at dinner a couple weeks ago, and they're like, "Oh, Olivia, like, just what's going on? We been seeing you on Fox News, like, because they're a Fox boomer couple, so they watch me all the time." And they're like, "So who are you supporting? Like, who are you going to vote for?" Because they know I voted for Trump in the past. Like, they're asking if I'm going to vote for Trump again, and I was like, I don't know if I'd even vote in the next presidential election, just because. No matter if the option is Trump, DeSantis, Biden, Harris, fucking Pete Buttigieg, whatever,
Booty Judge, that's what I call him. Yeah.
Yeah, from any of the candidates that I predict that are going to be in the lineup, I don't want any of them to be president. I just don't. And then today I kind of went back on that because I tweeted I would vote for Kanye. Like, unironically, I'd vote for Kanye before Trump or DeSantis or any nominee.
Raise your hand if you voted for Kanye in 2020.
No, Chad, you're real. Chad, you're real.
Raise your hand if you voted for Kanye in 2020. All right. I just wanted to make sure I'm the only one. All right. Okay.
So, Jordan, you were about to say something.
I'm sorry, Jordan. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I was just saying she's better than me because I'm voting Trump so hard in the 2024 presidential election. Like, I'm gonna vote for Trump so hard that they're gonna accuse me of voter fraud.
Right on. So the thing is,
wait. I'm
Donald Trump, and I approve this message.
There you go. Yeah. What's funny is I'm more likely to vote for Trump this time than ever before. Now, I'm with Olivia, and in that I'm not really going to vote, but give me something to vote for. That's what I'm looking for. And I have to say, regardless of all the nonsense, Trump was 10,000 times better than this piece of shit we got now. And so I would be more likely. I'm still not going to. I'm hoping to be, if I'm going to vote, which I generally don't, I'm hoping that I'm going to be voting for Spike. But
I just saw it yesterday.
Yeah, I know. I want to cover that later. But no, the one thing that I think, and maybe Patriot J can get this out there. I think the smartest thing Trump could do, and I've said this on Twitter, is he could make Rand Paul his VP pick, and if he did that, they've got it locked.
Yeah,
I will
Trump
say-
don't like Rand though, because Rand's too real.
Yeah,
Trump
well,
don't
and Rand,
like Rand. Trump don't
Rand
like
was going at-
Massey.
Mhm.
They're too
I
real.
know.
And I don't judge people for wanting to vote for Trump again. Like I don't judge Jordan at all. That's your prerogative. I just
break up. No, I'm just
when I saw how he
shut up,
let Mitch
Chad.
McConnell, when I saw how he let that old fucking turtle, Mitch McConnell, bully the shit out of him,
Yeah.
I was just like, yeah, he's a pushover. And then
Mm.
did your light bulb just go out, Jordan?
Yeah, I don't know what's happening there.
Okay.
He's got a
I
spirit.
mean, we could talk about the bump stock ban. We can talk about red flag laws. We can talk about
Warp speed shit.
$1 billion to Israel.
Mhm.
I mean, he's in cahoots with the people that Kanye are talking about, whether we like it or not. I mean,
Absolutely.
Kanye just mentioned Jared Kushner. I mean, Trump may not take as much advice from him the next time around, but you can't stop. I mean, that's his family, whether he likes it or not, whether he wants him to be involved politically or not. That's family. That's his daughter's family. That's the father of his grandchildren. So that's never going to go away. So I think, you just brought up Spike. We were at the Freedom for Assange rally yesterday. People thought Trump was going to pardon Assange. People thought Trump was going to pardon Snowden. People thought Trump was going to pardon Ross Ulbricht. Like all these people, all these freedom fighters, all these people that so-called liberty Republicans and libertarians and anarchists were calling on Trump to do, and he knew that he should do it. And Mitch McConnell was like, no. And he was like, okay. Like it was just such a bitch move. And yeah, I can't do the Israel shows. I can't even do a little bit of gun control, not the bump stock ban. I don't care if you can 3D print one. The principle still matters to me. And yeah, I don't think he's a bad guy. I think he also makes the worst picks, like literally nominations, cabinet picks. For somebody who had a whole reality show about hiring and firing people, he is the worst fucking person at hiring people. So yeah, I think he's a good guy. I think maybe he should be like Speaker of the House or some shit. He should run for Congress in Florida and just be Speaker of the House and
cool.
not have much over foreign
He doesn't
policy.
have to be a congressman to be Speaker. I think they
That
should
is
just
true.
take control of
That
it
is
and
true.
give him the Speaker.
That is true. So yeah,
That
he
would be
can do
fun.
something. I don't want him to have nuclear power again.
Right. Well, that's the problem with what we're facing. My wife and I were talking about this. Biden's bought and paid for by the military and industrial complex for sure, but the Republicans coming in are just going to do the same fucking thing. They're going to come in, they're going to be like, grr, and they're going to escalate everything.
We have to liberate Iran, Marcus. This is a feminist issue.
I know.
Save the women.
We need to let Iran do Iranian things. So I agree, obviously, largely with what Olivia is saying. But Jay, what is your reply to those accusations? I mean, being that you do support Trump and you do see where he's going, what's your reply to what Olivia is saying?
I don't know if there is much of a reply because it's valid criticism, but it's also like, where are you gonna get the alternative? I feel like I'm not gonna find a perfect politician, and I'm willing to trade Donald Trump's persona for a few policy positions I don't necessarily agree with.
Fair. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say I think that's fair, and I definitely see people's point of view when they say, "Well, I'm just gonna vote for the lesser of two evils." And Trump did do some good stuff. All I listed was his bad stuff. I mean, there was a point in time. They might hate me now because I speak about him, but the Trump White House was aware of me. I was invited to the Trump White House 2 times. Donald Trump Jr. still follows me on Twitter. He don't be liking my posts no more. So I understand what there was a time where I was like very understanding and very quick to make excuses for Trump. There was a time when I was like on that like thin blue line, like let's send money to Israel type stuff, because that's just a lot of people still believe in that, and so that's their prerogative. It's just that if it was just a few points that I didn't feel passionately about, like if he was like, no, actually, like, I'm not going to spend that much time like reforming the immigration system. I'm like, okay, well, I'm really, really passionate about like how we deal with foreign affairs. I'm really passionate about taxation. I'm really passionate about the Second Amendment. That probably is above all of them, along with free speech. And so as soon as you like tear down even a little bit the Second Amendment, then you're out.
I agree.
Me, at least. And I'm a big gun person. Jordan's not a big gun person, so I see why that means different things to different people.
So, Patriot J, what is the issues that matter most to you?
That's a good question. Immigration.
Don't tell me it's just okay.
Immigration's up there. Economic policy, lower taxes, stuff like that.
Cool. Yeah, for me, with the Republican line, I kind of, I for a long time I was a big immigration person too, and then I realized that that's just the state using its power to stop the right of movement. So I changed my opinion. But I also think that Maj has kind of got it right in that we can have what we think the best solution is, but we also need to live in the reality we have a state. And while we still have a state, we should be aware of who's coming in, because with a state comes all of the things like a welfare state and a police state and those kinds of things.
And a warfare state. And,
right.
Yeah. Sending money to all these foreign countries and everything. And
right.
It's wild. But the biggest part of that is that the welfare state, when you're dangling all this like free access to shit, school and healthcare and everything else, like you're naturally going to have people wanting to come from a place where it's not as good or not as available. So if you have a porous border and you have that, you are naturally going to create and invite the problem that you have. But yeah, like fundamentally, philosophically, freedom of movement is fundamental to human beings, natural rights. But having like shit that you get, goodies that are handed out because they're stolen from everybody else and stolen from future generations through inflation and taxation is not the way to do it, not the way to provide that stuff. So anyway, where were you going with that, Marcus?
I was just saying that I kind of get the immigration thing to a large extent. For me, the economic stuff is we have a socialist nation. People don't like to hear that, but this is a communist country, and until we can get a handle on the markets and let them be free, in other words, take them out of the hands of psychopaths and sociopaths, and let the people decide what the hell they want to buy. Until that happens, we're never going to get out of it. And unfortunately, though I see where people like yourself, Jordan, do tend to, when they're talking about the two big parties, do tend to, when they have economic sense, tend to go towards the Republican side. But one thing Biden said this week that's absolutely true is the same people that are calling him a socialist for his policies are voting for shit in their own districts, trying to manipulate that system for themselves. So anyway, to kind of take this to another area, we kind of started hard. I want to soften it back a little bit. Tell us how you guys got together. With all these differences, how did you get together?
I don't think we have that many differences, to be completely honest.
Sure.
As people, I think we're really similar. Like whatever political difference we have, like I think people assume that we talk about nothing but politics, which would make sense. Like if you just look at both of our Twitter profiles.
Sure.
But I don't think we don't really debate that much about it. Like if there's like we both write political articles, so like he'll send me an article, I'll be like, oh my god, I can't believe that happened, but I'm not gonna like start a debate over it.
No, so the other day I asked her, I was like, hey, did you write anything that I might be able to cover?
Right on.
That's what. Well, I was wondering. I was thinking, like, probably to the extent that y'all do share any of that stuff. It's like, yo, did you see this? That's what I do with all my friends. I'm like,
or it's like,
look
did you see this Kanye tweet?
Right.
Exactly.
Lately, we've been like on the Kanye stuff, but how we got together for, I mean, you guys know, but for people who don't, it was at HotepCon. Huh? What did you say?
I said Chad was there.
Yeah, our thumbnail is from HotepCon 1, where y'all are like sitting at the bar for our like 5-course meal, food tasting thing or whatever.
That was like 3-part mushrooms, but
I love mushrooms.
Oh shit, man.
I
love mushrooms too, but I think we're talking about 2 different things.
We love both kinds, Marcus. We had been friends for probably like a year and a half at that point. Jordan, I'm looking for you to confirm. I don't know.
I think that sounds about right.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. It was right before. It was like right before. Yeah.
Right before the world ended. The first time we met was like the last free weekend of the entire planet because like COVID happened the week after. It was it was at CPAC 2020.
Nice.
Oh wow.
Right.
Very establishment of
the last time y'all were invited to CPAC as well.
Literally, I have not been back.
Haven't been back since.
I hit him up. I'm the one who slid in his DMs first, by the way, for the record. I slid in his DMs like the beginning of 2020. And we decided to meet at CPAC. It wasn't anything crazy. I just said, hey, like, what's up? It was cool to meet him in person. And then we actually parted ways. And then I get a call from him later on in the day. And it was like, hey, I have a free ticket to Mike Cernovich's after party. Do you want to come? And I was like, okay. And so I pull up to Mike Cernovich's after party with him. And
she got so drunk.
What's your drink? What's your drink?
At the time, it was
vodka
probably
cran.
Whatever. Right now, it's vodka cran. At the time, I was like, this was like 2 years ago. I was not even of age at the time. I probably whatever they were serving. I forget what I was drinking. It was that type of night. I forget. All I remember is he was super fun. I really liked him. And then we were like, okay, like, hopefully we get to hang out again. And then literally like the next day, everything was shut down. Like it was like basically national state of emergency because of COVID and shit. He was in DC for an internship on the Hill, and then his internship ended. He goes back to California. So I'm like, oh fuck, I'm like never gonna see this guy again. Like, that's sad. And so we remained Twitter friends for the next year or so. And then the following January, so it's like January 6th, 2021.
Let's go.
Like
the
every
day of
love
all
story
days.
should start.
The day of all days. I was going to say, it starts with
January 6th to HotepCon. Stay with me, folks. So it's January 6th, 2021. I am working on the Senate runoff race in Georgia. So I'm working on Kelly Loeffler and David Perdue campaign against Warnock and Ossoff. I'm like texting him as I'm flying back. We're just like, he's saying he's going to be in town for him and his mom's birthday is in January. So they were going to DC. And I'm flying back and I'm like in my layover in Atlanta, Georgia, I think. And I'm looking at January 6th unfold on the airport TVs. And I'm like, is there even going to be a DC like tomorrow? Like, what is going on? So there was still a DC. I think if Jordan can explain what his part in January 6th was, because it's actually really funny with it was a whole thing. But it was the next day where I actually hung out with him. So it was kind of interesting because my second time ever seeing him in person, I was also meeting his mom, and it was cool. Like we like smoked a blunt and got dinner or whatever, and it honestly was like
wait. All right. Let me make sure I got this right. So like he said, not Drake tickets, not like Kevin Hart, or he's like, hey, let's go to Cernovich. It starts there, then it goes to January 6th. And then you're meeting his mom and smoking a blunt all in the same visit. Continue.
Yeah, so
This is the best.
it's very on brand for us. Like,
that's what I'm
like,
saying.
God,
It's like you know you got a real one. You know you got a real one when that's how it goes down, right?
And so even though it was like our second time hanging out, in my opinion, it kind of felt like I was hanging out with like an old friend or something, because I just felt like it was super like easygoing, like it was just super cool and chill. And I was sad that he had to leave, and I was still like, okay, I guess we'll just be Twitter friends because he doesn't live in DC anymore. I had no plans on going to California or going anywhere over there. So fast forward 8 months, it's all both him and Hotep Virgin Mary are like trying to get me to come to Hotep Con, and I'm like, no way, it's expensive. It's like $1,000. At the time I was broke. Just for everyone, now I'm up. At the time I was broke, so I was like,
let the record reflect.
I'm not doing that shit. Like,
right?
Oh, yeah.
Let the record reflect. I do have money now. Anyway,
Sustained.
But at the time I was broke, and he texted me like, no, Hotep will let you get in for free. I asked him, and then he sent me money for my plane ticket. So I was like, oh, like it's like that. And so
you
I
doing fly-offs now. All right, okay, all right.
I've been up.
And then
hey man, I don't blame him a bit.
I was like, oh, it's like that. Okay. And so I come there, and then the picture that you used for the thumbnail was like we had just sat down, and that was the first time I had seen him in like 8 months. And my third time meeting him ever was when we had sat down at the bar to do the little tasting at Hotep Con. And so you really captured like the beginning, because that was that was essentially like our first date, like at Hotep Con. So you basically captured it and documented it.
I'm like a matchmaker. I didn't even have anything to do with it. I just took a picture.
That's why because Jordan asked me if we should keep that as a thumbnail, because we have a million better, like technically better pictures now. But I was like, no, leave it, because that was like
the beginning.
That's representative of like where we came from, I guess.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome.
But Jordan should explain the whole why he was at January 6th thing.
For sure.
Oh man, so Donald Trump's my favorite president. He's like, come on guys, let's gather at the Capitol on January 6th. I'm like, hell yeah, sir, I'll be there. I got your 6. So I go, and
you are going to be called before the
right.
Oh, God.
No, he's on an anarchist podcast.
No. So I'll add that after the election, but like between the election and January 6th, there was a big Stop the Steal movement. So I went to DC for the first Stop the Steal march in November, and then I returned for January 6th. I had my mom with me because her birthday's January 2 and my birthday's January 8. And I was like, come on, Mom, let's go see DC. She's never been there, allegedly. Thank you. This is all allegedly. So me and my mom just go to January 6th. So it's like January 5th. They have like a pre-rally before the Trump speech. And then that's where I met Alex Jones. Like we got backstage. I think shout out Bryson and Chandler. I think Bryson Gray and Chandler Crump were the ones who pulled me in backstage. And then got a selfie with Alex Jones.
Oh, yeah, I remember that. I remember that.
Yeah. And so the next day, January 6th, I'm getting ready. I'm going to listen to Trump speak, I think about a mile away from the Capitol. I get super close. No. Although, look, okay, so that night before, no, I totally remember Ray Epps from that night before.
For real?
Wait,
no,
are you serious?
No, because that
breaking news. Let's go.
That clip, the clip of like Ray talking about we're gonna go inside the Capitol. It was filmed by Baked Alaska. And I'm real good friends with Baked Alaska. So we were like marching all around DC that day. So he's streaming and shit. And then I just see this like tall ass white dude talking about going inside the Capitol. And everybody's just like, no, we're not. Anyway, so it's the day after. I go listen to Trump speak, and I get super close because Gary, the numbers guy, was there. And so he pulled me into the little VIP section. And then because I had my mom with me, me, Gary, another guy, and my mom, we all went out to lunch after the dinner after the rally, because we were all tired and hungry or whatever. And so I'm sitting here eating some hot wings, watching January 6th happen on TV. So people
Like,
are
well,
always
That's
like,
not true.
people
They
accuse
got
me
receipts.
of being like a rioter.
receipts.
They're always like, how come you're not arrested? You belong behind bars. I'm like, bro, I was hungry eating lunch. I watched this on TV just like you did.
Man, I had to hit me the chicken wings, man. You know how
Right.
it works.
And then no, so a funny story from that. My face ended up all over like NBC News because they had arrested a January 6th rioter. It was this guy who worked for the Chicago Police Department, and they identified him because he wore a Chicago PD sweatshirt inside the Capitol, and he also wore that sweatshirt in a photo that he took with me, because this guy just comes up to me, he starts singing my rap lyrics, he's asking for a picture. I'm like, hell yeah, bro. Shout out to all the Patriot J heads in the building. We take a selfie, and then I see that
That's it.
selfie
That's the receipt.
on TV like months afterwards. They blacked out my eyes, but it's totally me.
Right. That's fantastic.
That's what I was saying. That's why I was like, I know you're lying about your wings because they got the receipts on you. They got you out there taking selfies with people in the crowd.
For real.
We put Ray Epps' head on that guy's head for the selfie. Be like, see,
That's
I told
funny.
you. Oh, shit.
For the whole January 6th thing, I was so disappointed. I was like Unc was when he
I
was
was
like,
so happy at
"This
first,
is the
and then I
white
was like-
people that I've been looking for." I'm like, "Yeah, get them!" And I'm like, "What?" And then I'm like, "This is disappointing as shit." Y'all had me all hopeful for something real, but
it was a day that shall never be forgotten because they will never let us stop talking about it.
Right.
So what's interesting about that is like before I'm trying to go back and like put some stuff together because like before HotepCon, so like I met Olivia the first time in person at the Solutionary Summit back in like September of 2020 or whatever that was,
Right.
somewhere in that
The one in Atlanta.
area. Yeah, Sharice and Felicia were there and everything,
Yes.
and Sunny was sick; she couldn't come, and I was really disappointed because I was like, dang, I really wanted to meet Sunny, and that was the one that Judge Joe Brown was there for, and
That was
your
so
mom
random.
and your mom
That's
told you,
fire.
your mom told you like, oh, I love Judge Joe Brown, and you're like, oh, I'm on there too.
Right. I
Right.
sent her I sent her the link to the event so she could watch live, and I don't think like my mom's not into politics, so like she supports everything I do, but she like doesn't like know all the events and stuff. So I just sent her the link. When she just sees in the thumbnail it's Judge Joe Brown, so she replies, "Oh my god, I love Judge Joe Brown. Like, when is he on?" And I'm like, "I'm on. I'm on."
That's the thing that you replied.
Watch
Yeah,
me.
Right, you replied this. That was when Sunny asked me to come on Sunny's Corner, because Gutfeld had canceled on her, and I sent my parents the link to Sunny's tweet, and I was like, "Oh yeah, check it out. I'm going to be on there at noon, because noon Central, 1 Eastern, whatever." Anyway, and my dad's like, "Oh, I love Gutfeld." I'm like, No. He canceled, so I'm going to be on. My mom goes, "Oh, I'm sorry he canceled." I'm like, the fuck? Y'all suck. Y'all are the worst. And so
That's
then Olivia
funny.
responded, and she was like, "Yeah, that's it. That's how I learned of that story." She told me
Yeah.
that. She's like, "That's
Oh my god, I can't believe I've known you for that long. That's like it's over 2
yeah,
years now.
it's been a minute." So
Yeah.
because I remember the day that you put out that little video clip or whatever of you just kind of like throwing your hair around and everything and putting the MAGA hat on and everything. And I was like, oh shit, like this is a thing. Like people are like really doing this. Uncle Hotep started a whole trend.
Oh
Seriously.
boy. I've
First
come a
nigga to
long way
rock
from
a
the
MAGA
MAGA hat
hat.
days.
What's that?
I'm putting my
what'd you say?
MAGA hat back on.
I see. I've got a MAGA hat too, but it's make anarchy great again. But it's so funny that you said that, Chad, though, because it does. One of the things that's weird is we've been doing this podcast forever now,
Mhm.
and we have, like, thinking back to how long ago it's been since we've all talked the first time, on here. It is so weird to me that, I've known you guys, sure, we just know each other through the podcast and on Twitter and stuff like that, but I've known you guys for a couple years now, and that's just blows my mind. Time's the thing.
Mm-hmm.
So speaking of time, what are you guys doing right now? Like I'm aware of what you've been doing. Like I know that Jordan has a law office thing that he's doing. He graduated from law school. Fantastic. And I'm really proud of you for
Past the
that.
bar and everything. Like,
He doesn't brag about it enough. Like it's more than just pass the bar. Like he opened his own law firm and
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
has a shit ton of clients that he gets out of jail. Like it's, to me, I'm amazed because I'm a college dropout, so I can't imagine going through college, then grad school, then taking a giant exam, and then going out and being like, okay, I'm not going to join like one of these big mega firms. I'm going to basically take a chance and do my own thing. So I don't know. I always brag about him way more than
I'm planning on coming to California, break the law just so he can represent me.
I got you, man. I love taking white people's money.
Right on, right
That's
on.
well played.
Just playing. Yeah, I don't know. Being a lawyer is cool. It's just I don't talk about it because it's hard and it's difficult, and I'm learning stuff every day, and I don't feel like I have the knowledge base to talk about it. But one day I'll get there.
Sure.
So yeah, it's something that's like humility is probably the best approach because I think anything like something like that's that big and that prestigious of an occupation, I think it can humble you pretty quickly if you get out ahead of yourself. So I would probably be reserved as well, to be quite honest. But we'll be proud of you for you. How's that?
Yeah, for sure. And that's not all you're doing either. Not that that's not enough, but tell about your writing and the other stuff that you've been up to as well.
Oh yeah, so I've been reporting on politics for Breitbart for nearly a year.
Just that little bitty thing that people have never heard of called Breitbart.
Yeah, on Tuesday it'll be a year. That job's been super fun, very rewarding. Yeah. Trump shared my article a couple times, which was really sick. That's fun. That's fun stuff. I love it.
Nice. And Olivia, how about you? Aside from starting your own show on Fox Business,
with that Kennedy chick,
viewers, they're gonna actually Google.
Well, no, because all right, so that Kennedy chick, you discovered her and you found out she's got some cool ideas. she's got some cool ideas and stuff, and so you let her come on your show. Let her come on your show to talk a little bit about her ideas and everything. No, so all right. So talk about that relationship, because I think it started off as you got kind of a an alley-oop, and then it turned into something where now I think she fucks with you heavy, and it's kind of a big deal.
Yeah. So I don't know if I've told you this already, but your viewers will be pleased to know that it was actually Spike Cohen that got me connected to Kennedy in the first place.
That's awesome.
It was pretty much exactly a year ago. So I've been going on for pretty much a year that I was with Jordan at Amp Fest in Miami, basically our second official while we're dating meeting date, whatever. And I get an email from a Fox Business producer, and she tells me to call her. I call her, and she's like, yeah, so Spike Cohen gave us a recommendation, and we looked through your Twitter feed and your YouTube videos, and we like what you have to say. Do you possibly want to come on the show? And so I'm like, yes. And then I hang up, and we start jumping around the hotel room. It was a great moment.
That's
and then
cool.
We get back from Miami. I go home the next day, basically after I get home. They're asking me to come on the show. So the whole process, I still feel like it's pretty cool to go on Fox. So they send a car and or limo to my house. It depends, but they send a car to my house. They take me to there's a Fox studio in DC, and I always think it's funny to say that it's in the same building as C-SPAN and MSNBC, which just do with that what you make, whatever assumptions you want, because I definitely have my assumptions about it.
Left, right, and allegedly center.
Yeah, I think it's funny how they're all very close behind closed doors, but that's whatever. That's the corporate media for you. It's kind of a huge operation, even though the DC studio is not the studio that Kennedy does her show out of. She does it out of the main studio in New York. So I was doing it remotely from there. I would do it like once a month until for a few months, and then more recently it's been like every other week or every week. So it's been picking up in frequency, and then I would go visit Jordan in LA for a couple weeks or months at a time, and they would send like a whole studio fan to where we were staying in LA at the time. And so that was pretty cool. And you can't really tell when you're watching. It just looks like you're in the studio. But there's a van, and there's like a producer in the van and everything.
Yeah, you got like your little cityscape behind, like
right.
Like I have here.
And then
they sent the van here, by the way.
And so at this point, I wasn't even really friends with Kennedy. Like we really only spoke on the show, which was completely fine. Like I didn't want to reach out to her other than being like, you know, thanks for having me on your show, because she's busy as fuck. And then she started hitting me up, talking about, wow, I like really love what you had to say. Or sometimes like during a commercial break, she would like DM me on Twitter, like while we're live, but during a commercial break, she'd be like, oh, love your hair today. And I'd be like, wow, like you actually like me? Like that's crazy. And she would seem to like really, I wouldn't say she hands me like softball questions, but she's always like, Olivia, close this out. What's your take on the Federal Reserve? And sets me up for like some crazy, like abolish the Federal Reserve, like one-liner or something. Yeah. So I was like, okay, maybe she actually does fuck with me like that. And then she eventually invited me to do the show once COVID restrictions lifted, because again, Fox's corporate media, so they couldn't bring in people in person to do the show for a while. Once it was the COVID restrictions, she invites me to come out to New York and hang out with her and do the show in person. So I did that some months ago. And then on July 4th, a couple days before Independence Day, she's like, oh, come to my house in the Palisades. We're having a July 4th party. Wow. And that's when I found out that she splits her time between New York and LA, and she flies back to LA literally every weekend.
Wow.
Flies back to New York. Like she is like, I don't know how somebody does it, because I hate the cross country flights, because I do them all the time to go see Jordan, and like it's rough on me, but I guess she likes it.
It takes me a few days to like going out there is fine. It's the coming back that whips my ass. Like going out west is cool because like everything, like it's like, wait, it's like 9:30 and everything's over already.
Right.
What are we gonna do for the rest of the night? You know, and then I wake up at like 5 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, why is everybody still asleep?
Right.
You know, whereas I come back over here and it's like, fuck, I gotta get up in 3 hours. Like, you know, it just.
Well, I can't imagine doing it every weekend.
Every week is insane.
And so I bring Jordan to her 4th of July party. She has a beautiful house, by the way. Beautiful. I wasn't surprised. I was like, damn, you be living like this? Like Fox News pays you to live like this? I was like, shit. And then I bring Jordan. She like loves Jordan. She like asks him like stuff about like the law firm and stuff. And she still asks me about him to this day.
She got the Cali hookup though. Like if she needs legal, you know,
right,
you're there.
Right.
Like, you know.
And so yeah, ever since I came to her party, I actually got to spend time with her like off the clock, not at work. We've been friends, and then I've done the show a bunch more times since then. I went to New York and did the show and like hung out with her since then. And yeah, she's just become like a really almost like a mentor type person in my life. Not that she like spends a lot of time giving me advice or whatever, but it's more like the opportunities she'll set me up for, because not that I was like a complete nobody before I went on her show, but it was my first introduction to Fox News. It was only after Kennedy had me on that like Lawrence had me on, and then I was on prime time and stuff like that. So it did open a lot of doors for me. And yeah, I don't know. I really appreciate her, and I'm going on to tomorrow again. Actually,
that's how Sonny talks about like Andrew Breitbart and Steve Bannon, like the kind of alley oops that they gave to her, where it wasn't so much. It was just like saying, "Hey, look at and listen to her," you know, because she's got some shit to say, and then just like letting you cook, and that's sometimes that's all you need. And so I want to talk about a story from last HotepCon, not this past one, but the one before.
Before you move on,
I want to talk. Oh, go ahead. What you got?
Before you move on, I do want to, in related to Olivia, I want to say that you also pay that forward. I watched when you suggested that they bring on Reed Coverdale, and the next thing I know, Reed Coverdale is on Fox Business with Kennedy.
Yeah.
So that's a beautiful thing that you do. And by if you need any anarchist opinions, I know I got. No, just kidding. But seriously, I want to give you the credit that you're due. That you also pay that forward as well.
For sure. I felt like I had a duty to, because it was the libertarians that propped me up. Like Republicans like me, they're okay with me. I think they're more likely to somewhat tokenize me or use me if they have like a particular issue. Like, Olivia, what is your opinion on trans women and women's sports? Like, they already know what I'm going to say. Kennedy and the libertarians are more often the people who are more likely to bring me on to talk about anything. They trust what I'm going to say. They may not know what I'm going to say, but they know it's going to be good. And they know that I'm not going to follow a certain like a script or anything, but I'm going to say something that means something and that's correct. So I felt like because Spike, a libertarian, recommended me to Kennedy, a libertarian, I was like, you know, I'm going to. And Reed's been blowing up recently, and that's on his own work. He's worked really hard, but it was a thing where I knew he really wanted to go on Kennedy, and we got actually like really close. Like, he's one of my best friends, honestly. So it's not like it was like some random libertarian.
Sure.
I would do it for anyone who I thought would speak good, but just to be honest about my bias, I did have a bias about recommending him specifically. But yeah, I recommended him. I did not expect him to get on literally the next week, so that was shocking to me. And so I had to commend Kennedy and the show booker for that, because I was like, damn, like, you just took my opinion and took my recommendation just like that and put this guy on TV. And he's a little crazy. He really toned it down. So I was very thankful that he did not say anything insane. And then
I was going to say, Marcus, you could go on there, but you're not as refined as Reed Coverdale.
No, I like
it was a joke because Reed is like sitting in his truck half the time doing his podcast and stuff. Right. Like, he came on our show, he forgot to have his mic. I know, it was a joke. I love Reed though.
Yeah, my last part about that is, I just want to pass on the torch to any fellow liberty lover. It doesn't have to be a libertarian, doesn't have to be like a party member, because I'm not. But at Freedom Fest, I was taking Kennedy around and like introducing her to like my other podcast friends. I introduced her to Clint from Liberty Lockdown, a couple other people, because you know it's good for the movement. So yeah, I don't want to hog the spotlight.
Patriot J, have you been invited on Kennedy?
I have not been invited on Kennedy.
I'm gonna get y'all broken up before this podcast is over if I die doing it.
I got him into her party.
Do I have to be a libertarian to get the recommendation? What is
right? This? I know. This dude putting in the work, writing for Breitbart, got him as a business.
Right.
She has a panel.
They don't need any legal analysts, I'm sure.
Oh shit!
No.
Let's go.
Anyway, so I'm gonna get a call from Kennedy. It's like, actually, your appearance tomorrow is canceled.
We saw you on this anarchist podcast talking shit.
Right. Oh shit! No, but so Patriot J. So you are the only person to have performed a concert at both Hotep cons.
Yes.
What's your take on the audience there, and like how much they like really get Patriot J and the because I know there's one person who knows all the words to the songs and is out there cheering in the stands and all that stuff.
This weird white guy.
I know. So what's no, seriously though, what's it been like having you start doing that stuff? You got all this other stuff, like this very like official professional stuff. And then you're also you're a pretty accomplished rapper because you've done some pretty heavy collabs. I mean, I know one that was it's the best one I think you've ever done, but you've done some other ones that are pretty, that Bryson Gray guy's all right,
Yeah.
But no, so what's it like balancing those two worlds? Because that seems like it's tough.
I gotta shout out Hotep Jesus and the entire Hotep Nation, because last Hotep Con was my first rap concert outside of the state of California.
Mm.
So I did like a mini tour when I took the bar. I did my first show in California, hometown, and then I went to Vegas, and then I went to Texas and then Miami. But Vegas kicked it off, so it was really cool to get the opportunity to take the show on the road. And like performing live is something that I really take seriously because it's one of my favorite things in life is going to concerts. I went to a random concert last night, so I want to make sure that my concerts leave the viewer with the same feeling that I would have when I leave a really nice concert. So it's something I value for sure. In the past year, though, with working Breitbart, lawyer and stuff, I haven't really had the opportunity to make a lot of music. So that kind of sucks. But my plan is to take maybe like 3 months off from work at the start of 2024 and to just like write a bunch of music.
Nice.
Let's go. That sounds awesome. Look at
So-
Sketch Therapy already dropped the
right in
the
time
LP.
for grifting season.
Yeah.
And
Hey, Jay,
I'm trying to get on a song with Ricky Bascom, man. That dude is the future.
bro.
Ricky, bro.
Olivia's shaking her head.
Yes, Ricky is
listen,
the truth.
Listen,
When you said that Jay was the only person to perform at both Hotep Cons, I was about to say, wish he was the only person to ever perform at Hotep Con.
No, Ricky, man.
I have nothing
That
against Ricky. I was just
Cat
like, what the fuck? I was literally just like, what
no,
the fuck?
Ricky is
It's the truth.
Ricky is a monster, bro. Listen, hey, so I'll just
He
say
is
this.
very talented on
You-
the piano. I will
you
say
really-
that.
you want to be on a song with Ricky Bascom. I will just say that I am already on a song with Ricky Bascom. So High Value Man,
Wow.
Uncle Hotep, and I are both on there because he
Wow,
what he
okay.
did was when he was getting ready to release the album, he went and he watched the podcasts directly
Yeah.
after Hotep Con and he clipped whenever we talked about it.
Oh, that's hard.
And so it's like it's us talking about
It's
it.
hard.
Can we not
like-
forget about your performance? Because I still have your rendition of Ain't No Sunshine.
Like shit, man, that was
Fuck.
terrible.
Oh,
I
yeah,
forgot
Chad
the
was
words,
going
man.
off.
I forgot the words.
Hey, nobody
bro. That was
There's
knows
only
all
like
those
3
words of
words.
that
It's
part.
okay. It was so
No,
good.
I know that song so much better. Like it was terrible. Like I felt like an embarrassment. Like I was like, man, you can't. How you fuck up? That song is so simple, and I still fucked
You
it
let
up.
the white race
Nah,
down.
me and Hotep Mary looked at each other. We were like, wait, Chad can sing? What?
I don't know. I'm a jack of all trades, master of none. But anyway, we how about Ricky Bascom and that incredible performance where he was rolling around on the floor at Hotep Con. That was
Circle,
amazing. That
triangle.
was outstanding.
Triangle square.
Yo,
If he
wait.
didn't
All
wear a
right. So
morph
hang
suit
on.
That was basically translucent. I would have liked the performance.
that was part of the shtick. If you watch the R.
Yeah.
Kelly video on his channel or
I
whatever,
just
like
want
he's
a
wearing
R.
that.
Kelly t-shirt.
So here's
Yeah.
what's funny about shaping the future. So he said he went through all those shapes and he says, he's like, it was like circle, square, triangle, and then he just goes straight to like rectangle. And he said he said I was gonna say a pentagon, but I didn't want you to get excited, Chad. I was like,
besides
that
me
is
look-
pretty solid. That is
Ricky's
Did
was-
anyone
that's a
besides
solid
me
joke.
look at the reactions of the staff, like the bartender and the waitresses and stuff? That
my eyes.
I'll
The
bet.
first person I looked at to see how they were reacting was Kim Klasick. I was like, I gotta see what Kim. I gotta see how
I
Kim
think-
was
okay,
I
reacting.
think
to
Rook
that.
Rook had the
She
best
was just
reaction.
laughing.
Rook was
Rook had a funny ass reaction, but it was like the bartender, the dude that was behind the bar, that was just like,
What the fuck is this?
I felt bad for him. I was like, oh my god. He's like, my boss is making me do this fucking Hotep Con shit every fucking year. They bring these fucking weirdos into the hotel. They don't pay for shit.
And it was
Like,
weird enough. It was
Yeah.
weird enough last year, and we just turned it up to 1 million. Oh man, it was
Ooh.
awesome.
Just imagine what it'll be like if we ever
I'm
do.
gonna have to get off of here.
You got to
soon.
bounce. All right,
Cool.
all right.
Yeah. But
Well,
let's
thank you
wrap it
very
up.
much
So-
for joining us. And
You're gonna leave me
again
alone?
with Patriot J, you're always welcome to come here.
Yeah.
Everybody go check his stuff out. Definitely check
Yes.
out his music and check out his writing for Breitbart. The links are down below.
Yes.
Thanks for joining us, man.
If you got to go now, you can go. But if you, I don't know how much.
I
time you
could
got.
go in like probably like 5 minutes.
Okay, 5
Cool.
minutes. All right, so let's real quick. Let's do this because all right. So Olivia's got the Def Leppard shirt on, I see you had the Capitalist shirt on. But when I saw that Def Leppard shirt on, I was like, oh, this is awesome. This is a perfect time for me to bring up. So there's a tweet that Olivia put out like a while back. This was about a month ago. She talked about her favorite movies. So we already know all of her favorite movies that she like serially rewatches, like Passenger 57, The Patriot, Dark Knight trilogy, all that stuff. Okay. I want to ask now for the last little bit that we've got you here, Patriot J. What's on your list? What do you rewatch shit, or are you like, no, I'm done with it, and you move on? And what's your favorite movies?
I don't even watch a lot of movies. There's so many movies in the world that I haven't seen. But like historically, one of my favorite movies is Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back. Super Bad is really good too. I am a huge fan of the Zack Snyderverse, Batman versus Superman. Probably my favorite superhero movie. Yes, that one's so good.
Did you watch the Zack Snyder director's
Historically,
cut?
I've been a Marvel person too. But when I like it's just something about Batman versus Superman that's like so boring and political and like deep that you really have to think about it. It just made me appreciate it.
All right. So did you watch the HBO Max only Zack Snyder cut of the Justice League movie?
Yes, I did see that. It was really long, but I enjoyed it.
Yeah. So did you think it was like demonstrably better than the theatrical version?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, I thought the theatrical version was trash, and then when I watched that one,
I hate how we never got a Ben Affleck solo Batman movie. I feel robbed of that.
That's
I'm a
true.
big fan of the Batfleck.
I like Batman too.
I thought he was. I actually thought he was good too. Like I'm not like a huge Affleck fan, but like
I like Ben Affleck.
Nationalist, so.
Huh?
I'm a Christian Bale nationalist.
So I was gonna say, like, I don't know that it's Bale so much as I think the reason why we all
he did get better movies, so
yes.
I'm
Christian
accounting
Bale,
for that. I'm accounting for that.
Yeah, Ben Affleck and Christopher Nolan directed and produced and written Batman movie. I don't know. I wonder if Affleck wouldn't have done the Dark Knight trilogy better. I'm just saying, like it's
the best
Batman
Ben Affleck movie. Though is in that Jay and Silent Bob thing is Chasing Amy is the best goddamn movie he's ever done.
Yeah, that was is it Jason Lee where he's doing the ass palm or whatever in the where you like he sticks his hand in his and then he shakes the dude's hand and the dude's like eating chocolate covered nuts or something like that. And so he starts licking his fingers and everything.
That was Mallrats.
That was Mallrats. Yeah. That was Mallrats. That's right. That's Mallrats. Yeah, my bad. Yeah. But yes, that was
that was one of the funniest moments in movies though.
Oh, that was so epic. Oh man. But all right, man. We appreciate you giving us your time. And Olivia, do you have a few minutes to stick around?
Yeah, I can say like
okay.
10, 15 more minutes.
All right, cool. Thank you,
Patriot
Jay.
Have a good one.
What's up, man?
God bless America. Vote for Donald Trump.
No.
Okay. He just hit the eject button as soon as he said that. That was awesome. It's classic. All right, so Olivia, so you're wearing a Def Leppard shirt. Are you a Def Leppard fan though? Or
yeah,
did you just find the shirt
like
at Target or something.
For the record, I'm pretty sure I got this at Urban Outfitters, honestly.
Oh, did you? Okay. All right, fair enough.
But yeah, it's the same shirt, just overpriced. I'm a big classic rock fan. I'm a new fan of Def Leppard, so like their popular shit. I would say my favorite song right now is Hysteria. I've been listening to that like on repeat. I'm like a big classic band tee collector, so my top band of all time is Fleetwood Mac.
Oh, yeah, Fleetwood Mac too.
No, pretty much all of their songs probably. I've been listening to a little bit of Aerosmith lately. What else I've been listening to?
See, I like pre-Hysteria Def Leppard myself.
Give me a good recommendation because I feel
Pyromania is really
Pyromania. Yeah, Pyromania is a good album.
Okay.
Yeah, my favorite song is When the Walls Came Tumbling Down off their first album. I think it's self-titled. That's my favorite song by them, but that's because it's about the end of the world and I'm crazy. But but no, seriously, I'm with Chad. Pyromania is a really good album, and it's like, for one, it's before their drummer lost his arm, so the drumming is a little bit better. And
that helps.
Right. He's got two arms. It's weird how it makes it better. but they also, right. I know I'm awful. But,
would you call him an ableist?
Right. Yeah, I am too.
It's better than being a transhumanist, I'll just say.
For sure.
But
yeah, it's a really good album, and from Hysteria on, particularly right after Pour Some Sugar on Me, I was a huge Def Leppard fan just back in the day, but that's why I know all this shit. But no, their style changes slightly because they became more like, you know, pop music. Yeah. But I really like Pyromania. I think it's actually their best album. So.
Okay. I've definitely listened to a couple songs off that. I gotta listen to the full thing and give it like a fair chance. I hate being one of those people that like almost exclusively listens to music that like was out like way before I was born. Like I don't want to be one of those like, oh, I was born in the wrong generation types, because that's so fucking lame. But this just happens to be my favorite genre. I've been listening to like Led Zeppelin a lot lately too. Johnny Cash / The Highwaymen, really good stuff there.
My wife turned me on to The Highwaymen. That's good.
Really, I like only discovered them within like the last probably like 2 years, because like Johnny Cash was like the catalyst into Highwaymen. I was like, oh, there was this whole other project that he did with fucking Willie Nelson and shit. I was like, what? So. Yeah, I'm all over that. I also like a lot of like oldies. I grew up. My dad and his family are all from Detroit, so I grew up on Motown a lot. So
me too, but not the Detroit thing, but Motown. Yeah,
sure. Big. We grew up listening to basically all like the old black oldies. I would say my second favorite band, or maybe tied with Fleetwood Mac, is Earth, Wind and Fire. Actually, Jordan surprised me with tickets to Earth, Wind and Fire over the summer, so that was like one of my top.
Was Hillary Clinton there? Did you see that picture of her with?
I know. I commented. I said, "Stay away from them, you evil woman."
Right.
It's terrible. Man.
Next thing you know, they'll be dead.
I hate when they pander.
All right, so quick fun story about Fleetwood Mac that you may or may not know. So did you know that Fleetwood Mac was looking for a guitarist, and at Sound City, this is all part of like the Sound City documentary that was you can find it on YouTube, but it's Dave Grohl like went to this old studio, Sound City, where they had this big mixing board that was like famous. All these epic albums have been mixed there and everything, because it had this like really good organic sound that you couldn't, I don't know, it's just like people loved the sound that came out of it. It just sounded so pure and beautiful. Anyway, so there are a couple of people recording in the studio, and Mick Fleetwood is in there looking for a guitarist, and they said, you need to come listen to this guy. So they go listen to Lindsey Buckingham. He's playing the guitar, and he's, it's like, oh, this guy's great. And they said, well, there's a catch though. If he joins, Fleetwood's like, bring him, like sign him, make it happen. They're like, well, there's a catch. You have to bring his girlfriend over if he comes. You know who his girlfriend was?
Courtney Love?
Stevie Nicks.
Oh,
Buckingham Nicks was their little group. And
I thought you were, I was back with Grohl.
So Stevie Nicks was a throw-in. Could you imagine that? Like, that's
Babe
Ruth was a throw-in.
I did not know that. That's very interesting.
Yeah.
Obviously, I knew she did band members, because there's that iconic The Chain performance where she's literally like singing at her ex, "You will never love me again." I just think that shit was so good.
Yeah, but emotion is powerful.
I miss when I think the reason I reminisce a lot, and it's fake reminiscing because I wasn't even born then, but when I think about like older music that I really, really love, it's like people don't really play instruments anymore. Everything is mixed and produced, and producers and DJs and stuff, they're very talented. I like guitars. I like hearing drums. I like hearing different types of percussion and instruments and stuff. So I feel like I have a greater appreciation for bands. And there's some good newer bands too. I'm into Greta Van Fleet, and they sound very similar to Led Zeppelin. And I've heard criticism about that, like, oh, they're copying Led Zeppelin. I don't really care because Led Zeppelin's not making music. So if somebody out right now is sounding like them, I'm like, fuck yeah.
Right. Like, well, the thing is, there's so much music that came out around that era that was original stuff that sounded similar to Led Zeppelin anyway. So
they just made it big.
Now. They're just doing it now. But that's interesting. So, like, are you familiar, or are you a fan of Mint Condition? Like, that was one of my.
My mom. I just remember my mom used to listen.
They're like a big R&B group, and it's all like they have like I don't remember how many.
What was that one popular song?
Pretty Brown Eyes.
Breaking My Heart.
What kind of man would I be? Yeah, Breaking My Heart. Yeah, that's the one
I have. That's the one song by them I have on my playlist.
Yeah, I guess that's right. It's Breaking My Heart, and then like in parentheses is like Pretty Brown Eyes or something like that. But there's that one, and then the other big one is What Kind of Man Would I Be? But anyway, they're really good. But yeah, it's a multiple piece, damn near orchestral instrument section. Like it's ridiculous, like how it's like a big band R&B group. Really solid stuff.
That's why I love Earth, Wind & Fire, because they be up there with trumpets and shit. Like, they'd be up there with the brass. Like, how many bands bring out the fucking brass? That shit. I like her. That Sketch Therapy said, I like Hurt by Johnny Cash. That was actually like one of my first Johnny Cash songs I listened to, and I was really confused because it sounded so similar to a 9 Inch Nails song, and then I realized it was a cover of a 9 Inch Nails song. That's funny. Like, oh fuck! And I can't even decide which version I like better, because I like 9 Inch Nails. I like the rock feel they gave to it, but the classic country deep like Johnny Cash voice. Pretty unbeatable.
So if you like. Oh, go ahead, Marcus. I'll let you go first, and then I'll go next.
If you like orchestral music and you like metal, I strongly suggest Nightwish, which is my favorite band. They are, and you want new Nightwish, not the old Nightwish, but it doesn't really matter, because they are heavy metal, and they are some like pretty hard heavy metal, but they have a female singer and they have an entire orchestra behind them. The music is beautiful, and the lyrics are fantastic. But I couldn't suggest any band more than that band. It's my personal favorite, and really good band, both for talent and for sound.
Okay, I'm gonna have to check them out. What was the name again? You said Nightwish?
Nightwish, yeah. Okay. And they've actually had 3 singers, and the best one is the most recent one. Her name is Floor Johansson, I think, and she's amazing by herself. Her vocal range goes everywhere, and because we're talking about someone can do hard metal, but also can do operatic kind of music as well. So she's got a full range, whereas their other 2 singers, Annette, which was the second singer, she was primarily just a metal singer, and then before her, Tarja was pretty much just an opera singer who happened to have a heavy metal band behind her. And I like Floor because she does both.
Interesting. Yeah, I'll definitely check that out. I'm a big I like discovering new music, so I'm always down to check out people's recommendations.
So if you like discovering new music, maybe you like discovering new old music too. So the first CD that I ever bought, everything else before that was cassette.
Old.
Anyway, yes, I'm old. I have gray hair in my beard, Olivia. But thank you for reminding me that I'm old.
Dark hair in my
we're gonna wrap this up with us telling the story of the ride that we had from HotepCon to the Stretch 2 years ago, or a year ago, whatever. Speaking of being old, but anyway, I would recommend. So the first CD I ever bought was Queensryche. It was Empire is the name of the
Operation
album.
Mindcrime's better.
Okay, but I'm just saying that was the first album that I ever bought on CD. Sure. Okay, So Silent Lucidity is a beautiful song. It's a great introduction. Like, it's one of the cleanest sounds that you'll ever hear. That opening guitar solo is epic. But they are actually, I didn't find this out until later, after I had been listening to them just because I like the music, but like, they're anarchists. And I didn't realize that. And so it's like this like kind of mainstream-ish, metal-ish band that was more like ballady metal, but they were also anarchists. And so like the whole song Empire is about like that. I mean, the album Empire has a lot of that in it, but the song Empire is basically like, is all about like, you know, they're building empire. This is all like some fuck shit that they're on, and that it's an expose, so to speak, of that system. So now, Queensryche is a great one if you want to
be
dig
clear,
into
they're anarcho-communists, though.
But they're anarchists. We embrace them, and we have a discussion with them, and we hopefully convince them that
they should be on the Korean Anarchy Network.
That communism stuff only works it probably doesn't even work in their band, because they probably still fight over shit. But anyway, I digress. Now let's get into, you and Jordan were too young to go like check yourselves into the Strat, and so I had to go and be like your
Jordan, not the other Jordan.
Yeah, right. Not Patriot J Jordan. Yes, Hotep Virgin Mary Jordan. Yeah, that is confusing. So I had to go and escort you guys over there to make sure that y'all could get in and get checked in and all that stuff, and also that you wouldn't get murdered by the Uber driver or anything like that. Thank God I did go, because this Uber driver may very well have, I don't know what he would have.
You might have been the only thing standing in between us and our bodies being found in a dumpster.
Right. Yes. So I will let you tell this story of from your memory, and then if there's anything that I feel like you left out or anything like that, I will.
So
fill
just
in the
like
gaps.
Chad said, me and Hotep Mary were too young to go check into the Strat. We had to be 21. So we're like, Chad, please take us to the Strat. We have to check in. Please. So he's like, oh, okay. And so we get in an Uber, and immediately, like, the Uber driver had, like, I forget what music he had switched from, but as soon as Black people get in the car, he like immediately changes to like Whitney Houston or some shit. And I was like, fine, that's cool. Like, I like Whitney Houston, but I also liked what he already had on, so I was like, whatever. But so we get in the car, and we end up going down it was a very, like, I would like say very small, like, side street, like we're like in more like a residential like neighborhood area.
A lot of parallel parked cars on the side. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a pretty narrow road. And he makes some joke about, because we see this black cat kind of out the window of the car, and he makes a joke about being superstitious, and we're all like, oh, haha. And then we're like, oh, fuck, he's dead ass. So he starts making like a 200-point turn and in this tiny ass road, and he's like, I can't go that way because a black.
It was like Michael Myers in whatchamacallit, with the fucking Austin Powers, where he goes and he gets like stuck in the, with the little cart. Y'all know what I'm talking about? It was like he seriously made it. She's right. It was like a 200-point turn. It was insane, and it was all because of Black Cat.
So
crossed.
Weird. And by the way, it's like dark as fuck. Like, it's the middle of the night, so we're like, it's like a tiny.
How'd you even see the cat, bro? Like,
right? I barely even saw it. It just ran off into somebody's yard or something. Like, it wasn't even in the way. So he was just being superstitious and did this 200-point turn. And it takes us away because the Strat is not far away from the Ahern where Hotep Con was at. And it added like 5 more minutes onto the trip, and it was just like super weird. And we were like, okay. And he was like, yeah, I can't take any chances. And I was like, okay. And then Chad is in the front seat, and he's like DMing me on Twitter, and he's like, is this guy for real? And I was like, I think so.
Oh shit. Yeah. So and then we get to the hotel, and that's when it got awkward for me, because then I'm like walking up, and so it's like me and Olivia and Hotep Virgin Mary, and I'm like clearly like way older than them. And I'm just, I mean, yeah, but the point is, I'm a dude clearly older than these 2 girls.
It's Vegas.
And
Who cares?
It's Vegas. And so like, I'm thinking, like, I realize that like the Vegas people are just like, yeah, whatever, y'all do y'all's thing, I don't care, but like, I'm thinking of it from the standpoint of like, I want to be able to like, I want to wear like a sign or something like that, like I'm just helping them get checked in, and then I'm leaving. I'm not, I'm just a chaperone. I am not.
I'm the
I'm not
Hotep
an
dad.
escort. I'm not an escort like that, and they are not. Anyway, it was just like it had this very weird oogie vibe to it, where I look like Hunter Biden in more ways than one. Because everybody says that I look like Hunter Biden with this fucking beard and everything.
Oh,
I disagree.
my!
I'm totally getting a crack pipe. Getting a crack pipe for Halloween, and that's what I'm going at.
Why did I? Okay, it's like
Uncle Hotep said that last year. Man, this is old. This is old
I
shit.
don't
Or maybe
think
2
you
years ago.
look like him, but I could see why people would say you look.
Yeah, you look
Yeah,
like his
yeah.
brother or something like that.
Bo, he's dead.
Hey, look, I could look worse. But yeah, it's,
Hey, he gets the hose.
no, I was saying I could look worse than dead, not like worse than Hunter Biden. But anyway, it's you get the point. But yeah, so that was that. But yeah, that was that dude was crazy. Yeah, I don't remember what he was playing before, but he like switched it to like I want to dance with somebody or something. Like he's like, oh hey, I've got something for you.
Yeah.
Like, oh my god, man! Like
It's a good song. I wasn't complaining. It was a good song.
No, but he was on like some regular pop shit before that. It was all adult contemporary. Anyway, well, Olivia, what you got coming up? What's like on the horizon for you in the immediate future?
Aside from Kennedy tomorrow, the show.
Oh yeah, Kennedy tomorrow, and then I released some sneak peek pictures on my Twitter. I have a project with FEE, the Foundation of Economic Education, coming up.
Yep.
I can't say too many details about it. It's gonna be really cool though, and it's with I don't know if you guys know Liberty Anders Maggie on Twitter. She's like
yes,
libertarian influencer type person.
I know who she
really
is.
Cool. So yeah, it's a joint project between me and her. Yeah, I'm excited. I'm really excited. I if it was up to me, I would have been said it already, but it's not up to me.
Right. Understood. No, that's good. I'm really proud to see you guys making moves like y'all are, because like we talked about this before, and it's a shame I didn't get to say when Jordan was here, but like I put it in the description that like the two of you like individually are Patriot J, that is you and Patriot J like individually are like a serious force to be reckoned with, but like y'all together, and like I don't know what the future holds or anything like that, but like I don't know if there are more mashups like this over the course of conservatarian Hotep history as we move forward. The world is in very, very capable hands, and I think we're about to blow the lid off this bitch.
I hope we can start a movement. I hope more people start like matchmaking and getting together and stuff. It just so happens that the right wing space, the anarchist space, the Hotep space, it's mostly men. So some of y'all are gonna have to be gay if you want it to work. Which,
luckily I'm already set, so I'm good.
Right.
But yeah, so I mean, if that's what y'all want to do, that's what y'all want to do. That's not my business. But yeah, I do hope I do hope it happens more. And like I think that the populists, like I think about like people like Posobiec and Cernovich, they have a point when they say like, the only way we're gonna win is if we have fucking kids and replace them, like because they're trying to replace us. So at the end of the day, it's a numbers game. Find your strong wife, find your strong husband, and get cracking. This is not me saying I'm pregnant or having kids anytime soon, by the way. I know.
Well, that's why I was very careful. About like I didn't want to like give any any kind of because I know like y'all it's there's a long distance between like getting together and like having a relationship and everything, and then like that long-term commitment and everything what that involves. But if it does end up one day leading to that, like yeah, y'all the kids that would come out of that sort of thing, it's like I was saying before, it's like they will be like Bane. They'll be like, you simply adopted Hotepism. I was born and molded by it. Like it's a whole different world. But
and it would be so cute. Don't you think they would be adorable?
That would be adorable kids.
They would be cute.
They would be like really, really, really troublemakers though. Like I can
I
imagine,
know,
like,
but I also feel like they would be like troublemakers in that like they're like child prodigies and geniuses. Because I would get in trouble for like smart kid shit all the time. Like I remember one time in elementary school, I got called to the principal's office because I had made and like typed and printed out my own newspaper and started selling it for 5 cents on the black
That's
top.
awesome.
I think I was always destined to be in the media some type of way.
Go.
And my principal called me to the office and she was like, "This is great. Like, I'm so proud of you. You can't sell stuff on school property." Like, and so I did get like in a little bit of trouble, but not really. So I'd always get into predicaments like that where I was trying to be too grown or I was trying to like basically outsmart adults. And so I feel like our kid would probably do similar stuff.
For sure. Awesome. You know, I added four anarchists to this world, and because at least 3 of them are grown and anarchists as we speak. So hey, I'm doing my part. But I do have to say that I'm very proud of you, and I proudly talk to my friends. And sometimes it's, you know, somebody will say, "Hey, you know, you're anarchist crap. Nobody's gonna listen to you anyway." And I was like, I have friends on Fox Business on a regular basis, and I'm very proud of you.
I've listened to you.
I know it's crazy. People listen to our crazy asses, and
God help the world. It's
right, for sure.
I promise we have good intentions.
And you're a perfect example of somebody who has grown, because my goal is not to make people anarchists. People say, you know, we should fight back when somebody has some disagreement with us and try to strongly be more, you know, coming back at them with anarchist perspectives. I don't give a shit about somebody adopting my beliefs. I don't care. What I want them to do is question the government, question the media, and question the corporations that they're paying. And if that happens, that shit will work itself out. And you are a perfect example of how that happens. When you start questioning, it leads you down a road that leads you to freedom, because no one wants to be ruled. So I'm proud of you, Olivia, and every bit of your success you deserve. You're an amazing human being, particularly with your age, because you, like Chad said, are definitely filling me with a bunch of hope, because I do have 4 kids that I want to one day see freedom.
Thank you. I really appreciate that a lot. I really do. And it, like, I mean, like I was trying to say before, it's like people like you and Chad and Brody, Hotep, all the Hoteps, all the libertarians that have been in this shit for in some cases longer than I've been alive. Some people have been doing this for like 20, 30 plus years. And I am relatively new to the whole thing. And somehow I have this platform, and it's because people were patient with me and taught me. And it went from espousing, I mean, some might say I even did a 180, going from like the Trump stuff to what I talk about now. So I don't know. I appreciate you guys, and I appreciate people who like actually listened and followed and didn't want to push me away anytime I disagree with them. Because the first time I came on the show, I probably disagree with you a lot more than I do now, and I still do have disagreements. But you guys give me a chance, and so you know that's. And sometimes it's a lot to ask for today with the whole like political world. So thank you.
Well, you're very welcome.
I'll say this much, on the like giving people a chance. Like, I'm going to be perfectly honest. Like, there have been several moments along my Dunning-Kruger curve of life where I thought I knew everything. I thought I had it all figured out. I thought that I would argue with people ad nauseum, and I thought I had like a handle on all this shit. I have realized that I don't. There's a whole bunch of shit that I don't know that I'm still kind of trying to figure out. And as I'm trying to figure that out, I think Marcus and I both are. I think we both probably started this with. I think Nicco kind of came to it more with more of an open mind than probably me and Marcus did, because he was coming into a space that we had created, and it was like like trying to understand where we were coming from. But I think Marcus and I both kind of started off with this, like, this is what's going to happen, and we're going to do it this way, and this is how it's going to be successful, and it's inevitable, and blah, blah, blah. And now we're like seeing some of the stuff that happens, and you're like, yeah, I don't know. Like, maybe it's not going to happen exactly the way that we thought it would. And maybe like our philosophy is one thing, but like the practical reality and how we move in that practical reality is another thing. And like how we can't, but what I always try to do is I'm always trying to live this space in as anarchistic a way as possible, where I'm not trying to like bully somebody or shove my ideas down their throat or anything like that. Because I feel like if we can focus more on the stuff that we agree on and just discuss around those edges and maybe probe some of the other stuff, then it makes it to where I can just rest in the respect that I have for you and your free mind and the ideas that you bring to the table, and just allowing you to express them is enough for me. And if we can then share like, okay, well, this is my perspective on it, then you share your perspective, and we just kind of go back and forth that way, it's way better than us coming into here where like it's like, well, somebody's got to die before this is over with, and whose ideas are going to die tonight? You know, like that's not a way to approach a conversation. We don't build anything that way. And on the other thing, like at the rate that some of these folks are sterilizing themselves and aborting all their children and everything, I think our odds are pretty. I think our odds are pretty good.
I know they just came out with that study that was like they found vaccine in fucking breast milk, and I was like, damn, am I the only fertile woman left on this earth? Maybe.
I got 2 girls.
Okay, so we're gonna all repopulate the earth. It'll be fine.
Right.
Yeah, between that and all the hormone blockers and all the other BS and everything,
Right.
it's just like, wow, I don't know. Like, how many of y'all are going to be left? The biggest thing is we got to, to your point about like voting earlier, I think we got to focus our attention on helping to inform the culture as people grow up, because as the kids come into this stuff, they're being inundated and indoctrinated with all this nonsense through all the different entertainment channels, media channels, and everything else. And it's only like those of us who are out there offering that alternative who actually are giving them something else to look at, because otherwise you would just assume that, well, no, I guess we all got to have our pronouns in our bio, and we all got to do, you know what I mean? Like, it's just follow the company line. Everybody puts the rainbow in their
Dude, I have friends that have
logo.
pronouns in their bio who aren't even political or really understand the whole gender ideology issue at all. They just see other people doing it, which is like kind of interesting. Like literally my best friend has pronouns in her bio, and she don't know what that shit means. She just saw all the girls putting she, her in her bio. She's not trans. She's not anything. She does not understand that shit. Like if you ask her any questions, like she's a wrestler, by the way. That's how I know her. If you ask her questions like, "Oh, should trans women be in women's sports?" She'll be like, "Fuck no!" Like, but that just it's what's going on. It's what's cool. The Ukraine flag in the bio, pronouns in the bio,
Ukraine,
everything's in the bio. Your whole identity's in the bio. It's a psyop. It's so horrible. Social security number in the bio.
And I always say my rule of thumb is if a dude has he, him in his bio, he's just telling me he's a bitch.
Right.
It's she, him.
So you could have she, her, or he, him. It means the same thing to me if you're a dude. Like I don't even want to hear it. Like you might as well have said she, her.
No straight man in their right mind is putting pronouns in their fucking bio.
No fucking way, man.
Well, again, Olivia, I really appreciate you on every front, whether it's coming on our show or what you're doing outside of our show. Again, you are always welcome. All you got to do is hit us up. And for those that don't know anything about her, wake up. This is the future. And definitely go hit her up. Her stuff's down below. And again, thank you so much for joining us. It's been amazing. You and Jordan were both hilarious.
Yeah, go give Patriot J's music some spins too while you're at it. Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah,
thank you so much.
Thank you, and you guys have a great day and stay free.
All right, peace.